guys are looking for the best fragrance products in the world, you need to go to ashkickin.com. That is ashkickin.com. Keep your home smelling fresh and clean with Ash Kickin fragrance products. Treat your skin and hair with Ash Kickin all-natural health and beauty products. Everything you need to create a comfortable home living environment and create a comfortable space for entertaining. The best incense burners in the world, home fragrance products, and health and beauty products, go to ashkickin.com.
Brothers and sisters, brothers and sisters, I don't know what this world is coming to.
Hey yo, check this out. This is Flavor Flav, and if you want the whole truth and nothing but the whole truth, so help the whole truth. Hey yo, you better listen to Dante, baby. Dante!
What's going on, y'all? And welcome to the Dante's Boxing Nation radio show. We are back. Co-host in the building, Milton. What's going on, man?
What's going on, bro? How we feeling, man?
All right, man. We doing it good, man. We doing it real good. First things first, let me go ahead and introduce the panel. As always, the DBN panel. What's going on, Kirk Jackson?
What up, what up, what up?
All right, Kirk Jackson. You know, he's a former fighter himself, and he's a writer on BoxingInsider.com. And we got my man, A.K.A. Rap King. What's going on, A.K.?
What's up, what's up? We in the house.
Man,
for sure.
Let's get it.
Let's do this, man.
Milton, we've been gone for a minute, man. We got a lot to catch up on, right?
Bro, yes,
Matter of fact, when did we dip off?
Man, we dipped off right before Kell Brook got his other eye socket broke. Right? Yeah, we was coming. It was a week before the Errol Spence, highly anticipated Errol Spence, Kell Brook fight. Of course, you know, Errol went over across the pond, did his thing, man, and his destiny has been fulfilled. I mean, it's been a while. Everybody's been saying he was destined to be a champion.
He was they was trying to say he was overrated sparring partner and all this kind of stuff.
All this kind of stuff, man.
Praying for his demise, and we
so,
seen how that played out.
Right? So we apologize, man. We've been away so long.
Absolutely.
But I'm glad to be back in the building with you.
Absolutely, absolutely. Shout out to everybody in the comment section. Every once in a while, I'm gonna try to, go back and see what y'all talking about. And we got to go ahead and make some more moderators, to go ahead and weed out the decafs, because the decafs, we got the number on the screen. So you guys want to call in, call in. Stop doing those, these little drive-bys, in the comment section, but they never call in though.
I know,
right? They the first to tune in, they the first to watch. But they don't call in because they know they're going to get that work if they come with that stupid shit, So that's pretty much what it is, man. Shout out once again, my man Right Hook 1000. What's going on, man? My man Nico over there. What's going on, man? The truth. That's what it is. Yeah, man. We about to get it in, y'all. So anyway, let's go ahead and first thing, let me go ahead and give a big shout out to ashkickin.com, because ashkickin.com, they show Dante's Boxing Nation tremendous love. They sponsor me, and they help me travel to a lot of these states and countries to go out and, get the big footage. You know what I mean? So shout out to ashkickin.com. Show them some love and just check out their website. They have a lot of cool products over there, okay, guys? So with that all being said.
And if I could give one shout out to Miss Sylvia Stewart Williams. She is the owner and operator of the Kronk Gym, the legendary Kronk Gym. I want to give her much love, her and the hubby, man, for keeping that museum open and alive, man, because that's exactly what that is. It's a boxing museum, not just a gym. And if you all can, make sure y'all go on the Kronk Gym's website, order their merchandise, man. They have some lovely stuff on there, man. So just a big shout out to her, man. She always shows us love.
All right, that's what it is. So let's go ahead and get it in, man. So let's go ahead and talk about this big week. We was, covering a lot of this stuff this week. The media workout for Conor McGregor and for Floyd Mayweather.
Yes.
Let's go ahead and start with you, Milton. What was your reaction? Let's go ahead and start, because we used to seeing Floyd train.
Right.
What was your reaction to seeing Conor McGregor train?
Well, it's two parts of it, man. And the stuff that he was doing, the shadow boxing, let me tell you, bro. I think Britney Spears got more rhythm than this cat.
Man.
This dude has no steps. This dude is rhythmless. I thought I was watching the Rhythmless Nation, and I'm telling you, man, he's in there. He's doing some arm flapping or whatever, man. I'm like, what is this dude doing, man? I'm like, hey, whatever. Maybe that's his warm ups or whatever for MMA, but the footwork, man, is atrocious, man. It is like, no, man. He ain't even got to be worried about no footwork. Don't even try to do that, man. You're gonna embarrass yourself. I'm telling you, it was horrible.
I mean, do you think? Well, let me go ahead and ask Kirk. We ain't talked to you in a while, Kirk. Do you think he just trying to trick people or something like that, or is these just tricks that he has under his bag, or what do you think?
You know what? That was my first guess. I was like, wow, maybe he's trying to troll people. He trolls really well. But, after I watched him warm up and then when I watched him hit the heavy bag and hit other different things, I'm like, wow, he's getting tired after 3 minutes and needs water. I'm like, he kept needing to take breaks.
Yes,
he was
man.
sweating and getting physically tired. And I'm like, that's a pretty good sign.
No, that's not a good.
It's crazy.
Go ahead, AK.
Yeah, it's crazy because he said that Floyd Mayweather was getting tired in his workout session, and he was always, trying to cheer himself up because he was tired. And I'm like, Conor, you having a hard time talking right now, like, because you were breathing hard, while he was doing the interview. So, at the end of the day, and I don't know if y'all saw what Terrence Crawford posted, but he making fun of how Conor McGregor was training. And he's mimicking him and doing the same thing.
Oh no, man! I missed
with
it.
his arms and the way he throws uppercuts. And I think that's really him because, I mean, I doubt he will fake something like that. He was talking about how Floyd Mayweather, when he was doing the pads, they used to make fun of him in the past, but now everybody mimics him. So he was saying the same thing about himself, that people in the future, once he be successful, a lot of people are gonna do the same thing and mimic him then. So I don't really think that he's faking it or anything like that.
Hey, but check this out though. Go ahead, Kirk.
To back off what you were saying, he also talked about in a press conference his favorite fighters, and a lot of the guys.
You beat me to it. I was just about to bring that up. Go ahead, Kirk. Go ahead.
Guys like Roy Jones, Prince Nassim. Guys like that who throw shots from awkward angles and are very, unorthodox. So, yeah, to AK's point, I think actually, he does warm up like that. He does fight like that. When he sparred, he kind of looked like that, reminiscent of that. And he's just an awkward, technique flawed fighter. I mean,
I wonder if it's as bad as it looks. If it's as effective or not, in sparring. Because he seems too open all the time. His shoulders seem to be squared up. But I don't know if his awkwardness, like Paulie talked about, is legit or not. But at the end of the day, because I don't know, like Paulie admitted that he lost the first sparring.
Yeah.
So that lets you know, but again, he was out of shape, and he retired, and he lost his last 3 fights by knockout. Mm-hmm. So let's not forget that either. So if Conor can't knock out Paulie in sparring, I just can't see him. Like he has zero chances to knock out Floyd in the ring.
And let me just go back real quick. And let me go back real quick to what Kirk just said when he was talking about his favorite fighters. He kind of alluded to Floyd Mayweather being one of his favorite fighters because he brought his name up.
Yeah,
he was like Roy Jones and Nassim Hamed, and then he was Floyd, he this and he that, so he's one of the great ones too. Yeah,
he had to catch himself.
Yeah, he had to catch himself because we seen it though. We could see a little bit of him trying to do Roy Jones. We could see the personality of Floyd Mayweather, him and him counting money and all that kind of stuff. So we see it, But it's just interesting that he actually brought his name up, when he was talking about his favorite fighters. He brings up Floyd Mayweather. You would think that would be the last name he would even mention.
Let me tell you something. That cat wants to be Floyd Mayweather so bad it ain't even funny. That's my opinion. That's my opinion.
That's not an opinion, though.
You know what I'm saying? That dude wants to be Money Mayweather. That cat wants to flash. You see the cat hopping out the Lambo, or was it the Ferrari, with the shirt off and flip flaps and flip flops. I'm serious, man. This dude wants that persona. But the thing is, he's getting loved for being Floyd. He's being loved for being
of course. That's what it is.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
the light-skinned Floyd.
Yeah,
I call it that. But check it, man.
Floyd. He said in the past that he basically he kind of looked up to Floyd because at the time he used to be broke and Floyd was like the pound for pound #1, and Floyd said something smart about UFC, and that's why he said from then he felt some type of way about Floyd and that he wanted to fight him and prove a point. Mm-hmm. Now he get his chance, so we'll see.
We'll see. Yeah. But and another thing with Paulie with the sparring session, man, they put out 2 10-second clips. I mean, it's 20 seconds in there. I think it just 2 different clips from 2 different angles. So I mean, it's really hard to judge. He got off. Of course, they're not going to put out, if Paulie touched him up, throughout the session. But it is kind of hard to judge an entire, 12-round training, sparring session off of just those 20 seconds.
Yeah, like you said. Go ahead, AK.
It's not that, right? Like the whole timing with him dropping the whole footage is when people were talking about the open workout with how sorry Conor looked and how he looked all tired and just weird as a, fighter, that's when they dropped that sparring session to kind of take the heat off that and to the people to fall back into line like, oh, you know what, Conor does have a chance, or Conor's beating up Paulie, maybe he can do this to Floyd to try to change the direction.
Oh yeah, they go ahead, AK. Go ahead, AK.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, when it comes to the sparring, the second time they sparred, you don't spar in boxing. When you're preparing for a fight, you don't spar one fighter 12 rounds straight. Especially if your sparring partner is out of shape.
Right.
Because if you do that, then you're not really getting the benefit of the sparring. You want a fresh guy every 4 rounds.
Right.
Unless the guy is in the training camp with you and he's like in shape just as much as you or even more in shape than you, then it's okay.
Right.
Because the way Conor McGregor sparring Paulie for 12 rounds against the guy out of shape, that's not how Floyd's going to fight you.
Exactly. And
you
if
that's prepare for the best. So you could tell he's trying to prove a point and try to humiliate. If he really landed too many great shots, they would have posted more than just 20 seconds worth of clips.
Of course,
right. It was probably.
And you know what?
And Conor was getting the better of Paulie due to his shape.
Yeah, absolutely. And not on top of that, we both talked to your boy Jesse Vargas.
Yeah.
And you remember what he said. People don't realize sometimes when you don't say nothing, you saying a whole lot.
A whole lot, yeah.
People don't realize that sometimes.
Yeah.
So, you interviewed Jesse Vargas.
Yeah, I did.
And you asked him this, the tough question. You said, well, it was quoted and reported that you said he got knocked down and he just walked off the camera. He's I can't talk about it. I mean, he did it in a joking way, though.
Yeah,
he did it in a joking way.
He just walked off. He stepped off.
But he was basically saying, I can't talk about it. And then later on that day, when other reporters asked him the same question, he was like, I don't want to say nothing bad about Conor. I don't want to say nothing bad about Floyd.
Right.
So wait a minute. You don't want to say nothing bad. So something happened. So once again, man, this is going back to once again, the highlights of him sparring with Paulie Malignaggi.
Right.
Paulie Malignaggi, and like I said in my videos before, of course he could try to impersonate Floyd Mayweather.
Right.
But we know that Malignaggi, he's never been known for his defense.
Did you see him standing in the Philly shell?
And soon as he did that, he got nailed. As soon as he did that, he got nailed with a perfect left hand by Conor McGregor. Yeah. And we're gonna take a call in a minute, guys. But go ahead.
As solid as that shot was, Paulie didn't look visibly hurt. And
yeah, I saw that too.
Yeah.
And that was flush.
Yeah, he ate the shot.
Mm-hmm.
He ate it. So looking at that and then watching Conor hit the bag, he doesn't turn his wrist and get snap on his punches, and he doesn't put his weight behind his punches.
Mm-hmm.
And even in sparring, he's all balanced and he doesn't have firm settings. So I find it really hard to imagine him landing a shot that's going to hurt Floyd.
Mm. Oh yeah, with 8-ounce gloves. Because like I said, if these were 4-ounce gloves, then maybe you could land one lucky shot. But with 8-ounce gloves. We already seen Maidana kind of hurt Floyd.
Yeah.
And one punch ain't going to do it.
Do you think that they're going to that the Nevada State Athletic Commissioner is going to approve it?
I think they are. I
mean, Bob Bennett, man, he's a stickler.
Just the fact that they're considering it right now.
He said initially he said no, and he said that's in place for a reason, and I'll let you know. He was like, hey, unless they give me some compelling evidence on the reason why. But the thing is, the compelling evidence to me is one fighter normally fights with 4-ounce gloves, and then and Floyd has fought in 8-ounce gloves almost for his whole career, right?
Yeah.
And so
I mean, unless when he went up to 154, but pretty much
when did he? But he only fought
Cotto. It was just Cotto.
Yeah,
because I remember Floyd wanted 8-ounce gloves in that fight. I don't know if it was Canelo too, because that was at 152. So I don't know if that was 10-ounce gloves as well. But
it was the Cotto Oscar and the
Oscar. I forgot about the Oscar fight too. Yeah, but I knew it wasn't many. I knew it wasn't many times.
Yeah.
But the thing is, man, from what I know, I mean, hey, he may go ahead and approve it, but I know Bob Bennett, man, that cat is a stickler for the rules, man. He really is.
We'll see, man, because that's just going to make it more of a dramatic, exciting fight. Like I said before, smaller gloves, it benefits both fighters.
Right.
Because Floyd Mayweather is extremely accurate. He has a better chance of getting a knockout. Conor McGregor, he may not land as many punches, so every punch he lands, it has to count.
It has to count.
And
he's the bigger guy.
So that's going to benefit him as well. But you know what, AK?
What round? Y'all think you're gonna stop him early or not?
I mean, I'm looking at 6 to 8. Those are my lucky pick numbers right there.
I said 4 to 6.
4 to 6.
But let me tell you this, man. I look at it like this. And when I first heard
we're going to take a call in a minute, guys.
Just give us a minute. But when I first heard about it, I was thinking, man, Floyd, this is a lose-lose situation for Floyd. But the only way, because the thing is, if Floyd goes out there and beats him, if it goes the distance, then it's like, okay,
it's a moral victory for Conor,
right?
And then, the decals.
and if by some chance, 1 in a billion chance, Conor gets lucky and he lands a good shot to the chin and hurts Floyd. I mean, it makes Floyd look bad. Either way, unless he goes out there and Arturo got this cat. And I'm talking about just beat the brakes off his ass.
Yeah.
Unless he goes out there and does that, man, you're gonna still, if he beats him, if he doesn't beat him bad enough to where the haters are, just to silence the haters,
the brakes got to fall off.
They got to fall off.
The brakes got to fall off. If the brakes are still attached, it's gonna be people. Yeah, I mean, a win is a win at the end of the day.
At the end of the day.
And something else we have to remember. About 2-3 years ago, you remember, everybody was talking, Conor would kick Floyd's ass.
Yeah,
Ronda Rousey, all these people, right? When they were just talking about it.
Ronda Rousey.
Yeah, when they was just talking about it, they love bringing it up.
Oh, yeah.
It's like they got a kick out of just hearing Conor say, I'll kick his ass, I'll do this, I'll do. But now that the fight has come to fruition, now and all of a sudden this is BS.
Yeah,
this is that because they know who the favorite is. So let's go ahead and take a call. I'm gonna go ahead and call you guys out by your area code. So let's go ahead and take a call right now and see what's on your mind. All right, we got 609. 609, what's going on? What's your name? Where you calling from, man?
My name is Tish, and I'm calling from New Jersey.
What's going on, Tisha? That's what's up. What's on your mind?
I wanted to talk more so about the upcoming fight with Crawford because, knocking on the Floyd fight, and I already, in my heart, know that Floyd is going to embarrass Conor McGregor.
Mm-hmm.
I really want to stick to Crawford's fight. Because
and we were going to talk about that, but go ahead. Speak on it.
That's a major fight to me. I think that puts him higher on that pound-for-pound list because he's taken on a lot of challengers that, I just think, and I hate that he gets slept on by more so the decafs. I don't think he get enough credit where credit is due. It's a lot of fights that are coming up because even if it's like who he has to take on, Anthony Joshua or something.
Yeah. They said he was ducking Victor Postal. They said he was ducking Postal before he dominated Postal.
Yeah.
But go ahead, Tisha.
Yeah, it's just more of of a statement. Even with the Pauline Malignaggi sparring thing, that right there, I don't know. That was more so a grudge sparring match because he didn't appreciate how Paulie said he would, beat him with one hand behind his back or something. His feeling, he seemed like he's really emotional when somebody says that they'll beat him up. It's okay for him to say he'll knock somebody out in 4 rounds or something like that. But as soon as somebody says, insults his skill set, so to speak, now all of a sudden he wants to be the big bad bully and be in his feelings. And I think he picked the right tree to bark up because he's going to get schooled.
Yeah, most definitely. And let me tell you,
that's all I'm saying.
Okay, hey, Tish, we appreciate that.
I really appreciate your time, and you make sure you call in again, okay?
Yeah.
All
right. Take care.
Yeah, Tish from New Jersey.
Yeah.
Hey, and just to
female boxing fans. That's what's up, man.
That's what's up. Hey, let me kind of belabor that point a little bit.
Absolutely.
Terrence Crawford to me is number 2 pound for pound, only behind Andre Ward. I know I'm about to set off a firestorm because the Loma Meisters are about to jump through the computer screen, but I'm here to tell you, the only person I see that's pound for pound better than Terrence Crawford is Andre Ward. And
by the way, that's what Crawford said. He even put himself as number 2 behind Andre Ward.
And I think I think he's correct. And I'll put it like this too. And she said it, and I think it's somewhat true that he's been slept on quite a bit. But the thing is, I still remember when B-Hop was being slept on, and he was approaching the fight with Tito Trinidad. And a lot of people were like, "Who is this dude, man? Who do you think he is, man? What did he throw down the Puerto Rican flag? Tito about to crush."
Well, he was a huge underdog in that fight too.
He was a huge
which
underdog.
Forget,
but the thing is, he had been slept on for so long, man. I don't think that Bud is being slept on to that extent.
Well, like Tisha just said, by the decaps, only by the decaps,
right.
Because they wasn't sleeping on him or they wasn't hating on him once again till he became a threat.
Right.
The more successful he became, that's when it started to come up where
I agree.
Now all of a sudden he's boring. The Victor Postal fight. He went toe to toe with him. He boxed him. He even dropped him. He even gave him an opportunity to fight toe to toe. And there was still articles, the same articles you see about Floyd. The same articles you see about Andre Ward, they had articles, tons of articles. Oh, he wins in a boring match, et cetera, et cetera. So that's pretty much what that is.
I know what it is.
I mean, it's the coincidental list as we always talk about.
But he cleaning out everybody.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't even understand what the argument is. How can they have there are no discrepancies, man. There's nothing you can say bad about Bud Crawford.
I mean, he fought everybody. I mean, even Felix Diaz, another fighter that they thought he was going to, they accused him of ducking and they said, oh, yeah, you ain't going to fight him. And, Crawford just said, whoever they put in front of me. And next thing you know, he dominated him. And that's not a type of fighter you just dominate like that.
It's not.
If you just watched that fight and didn't know who Felix Diaz was, you would have thought he was really nothing special.
Nobody. Yeah, I know.
But we seen what he did with Lamont Peterson and Sam Vasquez.
Yeah.
So... yeah, man, Terrence Crawford is on a whole nother level, and he is pound for pound. Now, Terrence just recently said he thinks after he wins this fight, he'll be number 1, But, yeah, I still would have Andre Ward, but, that ain't too bad company, to hang out with, be with, top 3, top 5, wherever you want to put them right there.
Yeah.
And we're going to talk about Lomachenko and Rigo, by the way, as well, because that's a real hot topic. Go ahead, AK. Coming. And we're going to take another call, too, guys. Go ahead, AK.
I want to mention real quick that along with Bernard Hopkins, because you were talking about him, Terrence, if he wins this Saturday, right? Saturday, when he fights in Bongo?
Mm-hmm. Saturday. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, okay. So if he wins this Saturday, he will be the first fighter since Bernard Hopkins to have all of the belts.
You are right. You are right. Mm-hmm. That's right. That's right.
And we know that when Golovkin, kept saying, and now he's going back to saying, he prefers to get that belt, just to tie this in with what Kirk just said.
Yeah.
Everybody was like, leave him alone. He said he wants to unify the belts. He doesn't have to fight this damn Danny Jacobs again and Charlo and all of this, and I don't know if you've seen the interview, but Abel Sanchez, boy, oh boy, oh boy.
Yeah, I know,
boy,
man.
Oh boy, oh boy.
I know.
Yeah.
I know, man. Come on, Abel. Come on, man.
We gotta get Abel on the show, man, and let and let him talk with the fans and everything.
Hey,
we gotta get him, boy, because he'll keep the conversation going. That's for sure.
I know. He is. Yeah, I like that. He long with it.
Yeah.
But man, he got to go sell that somewhere else, man. We all full over here, bro.
Yeah.
We don't need no more of that. Yeah, we all full. Yeah, you can take that somewhere else, man. We're not buying.
Yeah.
No, brother.
But yeah, just
talking about Charlo don't draw. He's not a draw. He don't.
He said he's nothing. His exact words.
Oh my God,
he said Charlo. He said he's nothing.
Okay.
And then he said, who did he fight?
Oh my God.
But once again, man, he said he didn't fight nobody at the middleweight division. But Kell Brook never fought no one at the middleweight division, though. And I told Abel, I said this to K. I said to Abel, I said, Abe, if that was a good win, for you to fight a guy who moved up 2 weight classes, wouldn't it be a bigger win if you fight the best junior middle or one of the best junior middleweight champions who's still undefeated? You know what I mean? Wouldn't that be a bigger win than the welterweight champion?
It's a no-brainer.
Yeah, it's a rhetorical question.
Yes, bro.
But yeah, man, that's what it is.
To break down that fight a little bit, though, I just want to say, man, I think that Terrence Crawford, from what I've seen of Ndongo, I mean, he can punch, but
doesn't have a defense.
He's basic, man. He doesn't. Let me tell you, man. To beat an elite fighter like Terrence Crawford, you got to have a few wrinkles to your game, man. You got to be able to do everything perfect. You got to be doing the basics perfectly, and then you got to be having some other athletic and a few more other wrinkles that'll throw a guy off, know how to set traps. I haven't seen that in Ndongo, man. I haven't seen that, and I just think that he does have a good chin. I will say that, but I don't know, man. I think. Yeah, I know. I think it's going to be similar to the Diaz fight. I think it's around 8, 9, 10, somewhere in there, 8 through 10. He is going to he's going to wear him down. He's going to figure him out after about round 3 or 4, and he's going to walk him down.
And that's what he always does.
Always does,
just
man.
like Floyd Mayweather. Take him a couple rounds to compute everything, and then once that data comes out, it's a wrap.
It's a wrap.
It's
a wrap. But on that card, man, you have you got Alexander Gvozdyk fighting versus Craig Baker. We know what Gvozdyk is bringing to the table, but Kurt, you were saying Craig Baker.
That's Kirk's boy right there. Speak on that fight right there. That's a big step up for your boy too, huh? So this will be a huge win for him, obviously. Speak on that, Kirk.
Well, it's a big fight for Craig, obviously. He's 17-1. He's 33 years old. He's from Baytown, Texas. He's coming towards the end of his career, I would think, just due to the age. But the thing I don't like is he's had a lot of layoffs, and that's due to guys not wanting to fight him. And
that's
horrible, you know how that goes sometimes. If you are a really good fighter, but maybe you're not a tremendous draw, it's kind of hard to get a fight.
It is.
So I mean, I think he suffered through that a little bit. But as far as his fight style goes, he's very patient. He's a very smart fighter. He waits for openings and then looks to shoot a nice counter. So I mean, it'll be an interesting fight. It'll be a war of the minds, and I'm not going to reveal Craig's strategy, but I know he knows the weakness of a lot of these Eastern European fighters.
Okay,
I'll just say that.
Yeah.
Well, from what I've seen, but out of all of the Eastern European fighters, I think him and Loma's got a few other wrinkles too. But Gvozdyk, man, especially with the light heavies, man, I think he's the more polished of all of them. Out of Beterbiev and it's a Bevo. There's a few others out there too.
A lot of them are polished, but
this guy is the most polished I've seen, though. I'm serious.
Yeah, but Kirk does have a point, and Virgil Hunter, he touched on it. He basically talked about their inside toughness when it comes to a lot of Eastern European fighters.
Yeah.
We kind of seen that in the Kovalev Ward rematch as well.
Yeah.
Them body shots. Kovalev, he wasn't really an inside fighter, and I'm not trying to say all of them are like this because there are different styles. But once again, even Golovkin wasn't comfortable against Danny Jacobs. But you're right though. There are some of them, that are exceptions though.
Let me tell you. I was watching an interview. They were talking with Holyfield and Mike Tyson.
We'll take a call in a minute, guys. Go ahead.
They're talking Holyfield and Mike Tyson, and they were asking, what's the knock on Deontay Wilder? It was like, hey, man, we just haven't seen him in there where, it gets greasy. You know what I'm saying? Where it get in that inside fighting, man. When it's kind of dirty and nasty up in there, and that's what a lot of them miss when they are coming up in the pro ranks. They come in late from their amateur careers, and they're thrust into big fights. You know, after about 8, 9, 10 fights, and then they are not used to that level of pro fighting. And if you stray from across the across the belt line, they're looking at the ref to call it a low blow or, you know what I'm saying? And I think that's what got caught up with Kovalev. We didn't even speak on the Kovalev Ward fight. We haven't even
we ain't even talked about that.
Yeah.
And that's kind of similar to what happened to Lomachenko against Salido, which I would pick Loma in the rematch.
Right.
You know, of course, Salido, he done been through some serious wars since then, but
that's the difference between the amateur and the pro ranks. And he think you can just jump in. It's a step up, man. Absolutely. You don't just jump into pro prize fighting and think that, you know, it's the same as the amateur. When the refs say break, cats hit you on the break. It's a totally different sport. It's a totally different sport. It is.
As we've seen.
It is.
And I agree with y'all, but I still feel like Salido's style gives Loma a problem.
Oh, that was my point too.
The rematch, because he seemed vulnerable for looping shots, or because he always liked to step into the right all the time. But Salido, he nullified that by switching stance and throwing an overhand left. So that's he prevented.
Excellent point, AK.
Lomachenko from doing that.
Really good point.
Yeah. So when it made Loma stay in the pocket more than he wanted to, and he always likes to take angles.
Yeah, he does.
That's why I want to see that.
Excellent
rematch.
point. Excellent point.
Salido is too old, because Salido is already getting old as well.
The wars that he done had, and we know in this sport, when you just have war after war, you don't last long in the sport. We already know that. I mean, Roman Gonzalez is already close to the end of his career, as far as I'm concerned. Especially if he go in there with Inoue and even the Thailand fighter. But you know what? Let's go and take another call, man. We're gonna take another call. So let's see what we got over here. What is that? Okay, we got 706. What's going on, man? What's your name? Where you calling from?
Hey, Dante, what's happening, man? This is Money Pal, man.
My man Money Pal. What's going on, family?
Oh, is that who that is?
That's Money Pal the fourth right there.
Is that right?
The father of one of the best prospects in the world right now. What's going on, Money?
Yes, indeed.
Nice, man.
Hey, it's
like
okay,
that.
man. Can't complain. No, I'm just sitting here listening to what you all are saying, and when it came to Conor, what I find interesting, I would have loved for him to have been in there with my son. I would have loved for him, because my son can fight out of that Philly shell. It's like, hey, okay. Hey, why don't you go ahead and try that real quick, Conor? Let's see exactly what's going to happen.
And Money.
Those shots start landing. And he's going to get stunned. What's happening?
No, I'm going to let you go, but I was just about to say real quick. Then you would have been pulling a Jesse Vargas on us when I would ask Money, what happened in that sparring? You would have walked off the camera. I can't say.
Confidential, man. Confidential.
But go ahead, Money.
We have to make sure that everyone makes money, man.
Hey, what's next for?
Go ahead, Money. Let him finish. I cut you off. Go ahead, Money.
Oh, I'm sorry, but getting with let's see, Terrence Crawford, you all were talking about earlier.
Yeah,
he kind of reminds me of how people, some people do sleep on him here and there, and it kind of reminds me of what's his name back in the day, the body snatcher.
Mike McCallum.
Mike McCallum.
Oh, he was really slept on.
They kind of, they people slept on this guy. It was like, I see you, but I'm not going to really come on over your way. And hopefully you go away soon.
Yeah, I know.
But I see you.
Yeah.
Terrence Crawford, to me, was the guy, just like you said, just coincidental.
We're
going to send you over here to Europe, and we're really not expecting you to win. Oh, snap, he won.
Yeah.
Now what do we do?
Now what do we do?
Okay, let's put him in front of Gamboa. Oh, snap, he won. Put him in front of Victor Pisto. Oh, snap, he won again.
Yeah.
So now all of a sudden we're in a different situation. So you'll never satisfy whoever it is.
Never.
If I just don't like you for whatever reason it is, that's all it is, though.
And they just gonna have to deal with the pain when they just gonna have to deal with the pain though when they watch them continue to win though at the end of the day.
Yeah, and it kind of reminds me of that one song that Ice Cube said back in the day. He's like, I'm the one you love to hate.
That's exactly what it is. That's exactly what it is, man.
Yeah. But keep doing what you're doing, man. Just wanted to chime in real quick and everything. But Money's next fight is in San Antonio at the Alamo Dome.
That's what it is. That's what it is,
next
man.
month. Yeah.
Absolutely, man. Hey, well, thanks for calling in, man. You got to call in more often, okay, Money? Matter of fact, we're going to get you on the show.
I sure will.
Okay, man. Thanks for calling in, family. That right there.
Sure enough, brother. Take it easy now. You all take care.
All right.
You too.
All right.
Sure enough.
What a cool surprise right there, man.
Yes, it was, man.
My man, Money Powell the Fourth. I'm talking, man, go ahead and check out his sparring and all that kind of stuff. Check out his fights on my channel, Money Powell the Third. He's a beast. He is a beast. Tall like Tommy Hearns, knockout artist.
Yeah,
power
in
his right hand is like Tommy Hearns. You know, jab. He can box. So watch out for my man.
He is the truth.
Yeah,
he is the truth.
Yep. So that's pretty much what it is. So did you was about to say something else?
I was just doing the rundown on that undercard. You also have Shakur Stevenson. Is going to be he's going to be fighting. Then you got Mike Alvarado, Brian Jennings, Dylan White, and closing it out, Nicholas Walters. All going to be on that card. I'm not sure where they're going to be what's going to be televised. Probably starting with Shakur Stevenson, but on the
ESPN. That's on ESPN. That part
you are
there.
right. You are right.
Free
It is. It's going to be free TV, but I'm not sure if they're going to do the whole undercard. If they start with the Nick Walters, which I will look at it like this too. A lot of the undercard, until you get to Stevenson, I think everything Mike Alvarado, Brian Jennings, Dylan White, and Nick Walters, their opponents. I mean, these should be because Nick Walters is on an 8-rounder, 8 or 10-rounder. They haven't said, and Dylan White is an 8-rounder. Brian Jennings is an 8-rounder. Mike Alvarado, 8 or 10 rounds. Those fights, and they do it like that because, of course, with time. And I want to chastise ESPN, man, for the way that they did the this recent fight with
Lomachenko. You talking about Lomachenko Mariaga?
Yeah, the Lomachenko Mariaga fight. But the fight before that, it was cut off because of the NFL Hall of Fame. I understand they got NFL Hall, but God, man, that thing went on.
Yeah, it went on for a
long time, man.
You had to figure out a way to stream it and all kind of stuff.
I found it over on Deportes.
ESPN3. It was on ESPN3 too.
The Spanish ESPN, and I found them over there. Which I don't know if y'all remember who was right before that one. The Herrera versus Soto Carras. Did you see that fight?
No.
Hey, did you see that one, Kirk?
No, I heard it was a war.
Man, it was, man. That was a damn good fight, man. If there are young kids, man, who want to learn how to counter on the inside, man, stay in the pocket and counter, look at that fight. And to me, Soto Carras won the fight. He wasn't throwing volume punching. He wasn't punching in volume like he normally does. But, man, he was countering beautifully on the inside. Both he and Herrera. And he caught Herrera quite a few times in that fight, man. I thought he did enough to pull it out, but, it was pretty much a hometown fight for Herrera. So they gave him the nod.
And let me just say this. Speaking of ESPN, you know us, we different. We give credit when credit is due.
Right.
You know what I mean? It doesn't matter who they are.
Yeah, who they are.
So I'm bringing this up because, I had a treat. And when I was at the gym working out, about 2 weeks ago, I'm over there working out like 1 a.m. All of a sudden, I look at the TV screen and I see boxing on the screen for the very first time. It was the Lomachenko card. Okay. And I was like, man, this is dope. This is really dope. We're really reaching all type of fans when it comes to talk about casual fans. That's why it doesn't make sense when people try to say, McGregor or Mayweather-McGregor, it's only going to do big numbers because casuals are going to tune in. But that's what we want. We always trying to target
grow the sport.
Extra casual fans, additional fans.
Right.
We're always trying to reach them. So that doesn't make sense. So when you're at the gym working out, you got all kind of casual fans. All of a sudden they look up and they see boxing up there. That's big. So my point is, it would be nice if everybody would be like us. You can give, Al Heyman the credit, who basically pioneered this, right? Or brought it back.
Right, brought it back.
and
They won't
didn't give him the
for it,
credit
though.
because
Yep.
once again, when he was getting 3-4 million views, people tuning in for Keith Thurman and all that kind of stuff, then you had people writing articles saying stuff like, oh, well, 5 million. If you look at the fact that NBC has 100 million subscribers, that's a small number, and et cetera, et cetera. But, they're not saying this now when it comes to the Pacquiao numbers on free TV, when it comes to this.
Right.
And I'm happy that this is on free TV.
I am too.
So once again, my point is, come on, man. Especially as media, man, let's give all these cats credit if they're helping the sport grow. That's my point right there. So, but let's try to take a quick call before we go to the next segment.
Right.
So let's see here. All right, we got 480. What's going on, man? What's your name? Where you calling from?
What's up, Loco? I'm calling from Phoenix.
All right.
Hey, what's good?
That's what's good, man. What's on your mind, man? What's your name, man?
My name's Shane.
Okay, Shane. What's on your mind, Shane?
Well, I wanted to bring up when you was talking to Abel Sanchez. I like Abel Sanchez but he's real funny to me because I remember a long time ago, I wasn't too sure if it was your show. It was one of the boxing shows, and he said, "Oh yeah, Charlo could whip up Canelo. Charlo's way more athletic. He can whip up He can whip up Canelo anytime."
He said that on my channel. Yeah, he said it on my channel. He said Canelo would never fight him. Yeah, he said he won't fight him. He'll beat him.
Yeah.
Which we
and then on your show he'll act all funny like, "Oh, we don't know who Charlo is. Charlo ain't fought nobody. Charlo ain't did this. Charlo ain't did that." Come on, man. Come on, you know better than that.
Yeah, they know better.
Well, I mean, Abel is a smart man, like you just said. Abel is smart when it comes to, as long as his fighters, that doesn't, have anything to do with his own fighters, he'll tell you straight up, "Oh, that boy is good. Oh, that boy dangerous. That boy." He would do that. He would do the same thing with Errol Spence. If Errol Spence was in the middleweight division, I'm sure, it would probably be a different type of tone when it comes to him possibly fighting someone like that.
And they tried to do that with Errol Spence at 147. Not
yeah.
Abel, but everybody else did.
Yeah, everyone else did.
But I tell you this, it's kind of hard because the thing is, Charlo just beat Highland. I mean, I don't know what was wrong with my man's knee or,
But it don't matter. The WBC.
I'd have had a bad knee too.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But
But he didn't. But I thought he didn't start limping. Go ahead, man. Go ahead, man.
Yeah, you know what I'm kind of noticing too? I ain't trying to be racial, but it seems like they're trying to find a great white hype. I get it because boxing doesn't have that no more. That's why they created MMA because some of the white boys just couldn't box one, so they had to wrestle. So they got the GG and they got Lomachenko. So I get it. But it's getting to a point now where some of these promoters, they're scared to fight the athletic brothers. Like they won't fight the Charlos or Earl Spence, but they'll go fight some guy Wade or some guy we've never heard of that has a record that's undefeated. But no one's ever heard of him. But they're so scared to fight the athletic brothers, man. And it's hilarious to me. I'm like, come on, man, let's put together some fights, man. Let's go.
It's the Black Murderers row all over again, and I'm talking facts. I'm not because somebody who if you've never heard of it. Matter of fact, Google it. If you guys never heard of it, Google the Black Murderers row. It was actually a Jewish writer who basically coined the term the Black Murderers row. It was a group of black fighters around the 50s, 60s that nobody would fight. So they had to keep fighting each other over and over again. And that's what we're hearing right now. As soon as I remember I was there covering, the Charlo Healing fight. And as soon as Charlo knocked him out, it was all kind of media members turning around. Who will win out of Charlo and Andre? Who will win out of Charlo and Danny Jacobs? I'm like, why are you talking about those fights when he's now the number one contender for Golovkin?
The number one contender.
And I kept telling this guy over and over.
Yes.
I said, he's the number one contender for Golovkin, though. And he kept asking everybody around me,
Thank you.
who will win?
Yes.
Jacobs versus Charlo. Who will win, guys? Oh, man, I want to see that fight. Oh, before y'all didn't want to see Jacobs. Before they didn't want, and he even brought up Lara. I'd like to see him fight Lara.
Sure did.
Before they didn't even want to see Lara.
Nope.
Before they Lara was boring as hell. But let them fight against each other. Now this is the most exciting damn thing, since Star Wars came out.
Because they keep the strap.
So,
they keep nursing the strap. They hold them like a newborn baby, man. They don't want that strap to get away from them.
Yeah.
They got it on the the titty.
Yeah.
And they're not about to let it go.
Yeah. You better leave my undefeated. Y'all got all these undefeated fighters. You better leave this one alone. That's That's what they did with Golovkin. Leave him alone.
Yeah.
Let Andre Ward. Come on, let us keep. Go ahead, Kirk.
If Mayweather wasn't the star that he was, no one would want to fight him.
No,
why?
you are absolutely right. Absolutely
right.
right.
But it already happened, Kirk. You remember Nassim Hamed? He didn't want the fight. And I have to say, Casamayor, that's my boy, but he didn't want the fight against Floyd Mayweather. It was a lot of people who didn't want to fight Floyd, like Kirk just said, when he wasn't a big name.
Mm-hmm.
But now, since he done moved up 5 weight classes, he's older in age,
and it'll be the biggest payday,
and it's the biggest payday.
Yeah.
So it's like, now they all want to fight.
They all want to fight.
Because it don't really matter at the end of the day. Look at Canelo's career.
Yeah.
His loss was like somewhat of a moral victory for him. So but Shane, man, you brought up some good points, man. So, but thanks for calling in. All right, man.
No doubt.
All right, man.
All right, appreciate it.
All right, that was some good stuff from my man Shane right there.
And I'll say this, man. I know boxing is tribal. A lot of times I walk into a room and I see a brother, in the ring fighting a Latino brother or white dude. And I'm automatically drawn to the brother. Like, hey, let me see what this brother got. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if every time it comes up in the individual boxing fan's mind that it's necessarily a racial component, but it's just tribal. But when the studios, when the television networks attempt to build up a particular fighter that portrays a certain image.
Mm-hmm.
I put it like that. That's when I think it's going overboard. You know what I'm saying? And they got to be called. They got to be called out on that, man. You just can't. And
this is and just to add on to what you're saying, Milt. It's kind of like when we go to fights and we see this big, Polish crowd that's rooting for their, for their fighter.
Right.
That's cool.
That's cool.
That's cool to see. They're cheering and they're having a good time. You see the UK fans come over here. They singing Ricky Hatton or whoever they singing
Irish
for.
fans, the
That's
Italian
cool.
fans,
But but this
whoever.
is where the problem comes in when you start throwing rocks at the team that you're not rooting for.
Right.
When they end up winning. And then you hate them even more because, like you said, you can root for the brother,
right?
But look at how you giving credit when credit is due to someone you may not have rooted for or whatever the case may be.
I remember the first time I saw Caleb Plant. Mm-hmm. I really didn't know him, man. I think it was about 9 or 10 fights in, and I saw Caleb Plant fight. And then I heard they called him Sweet Hands, and I'm looking at this dude, and I'm like, "Oh, wait a minute, man! Is legit.
He a boy. He a bad boy. He a bad boy.
I give credit what credit is due.
When credit is due.
I give credit what credit is due. I'm not gonna try to take anything from him. By the way, man, I'm looking for looking for your Caleb Plant. If you're watching, man, or if y'all get in touch with him, man,
I just interviewed him yesterday. Yeah, you just remind me. I got to throw that up. And once again, like you said, giving credit when credit is due. Because we done had him on the show.
Right.
We've been promoting Caleb Plant. He one of my favorite prospects.
Mine too.
We've been promoting him since day one.
Right.
Because he has the skill.
Right.
And I'm gonna say this, man. It's funny, man, because I always thought in my head, I always predicted, there's gonna be a fighter who's gonna come out, and he's gonna have that rhythm, soulful type of style, that slick type of style. He's most likely even gonna have a black woman.
Right.
You know what I mean? And he's gonna be a beast. He's gonna be a beast. And I'm just telling you, me and Caleb, shout out to Caleb because we talked about this.
Yeah, man.
That's my man Caleb Plant. And now he a beast. He has that slick style.
Yes,
he
man.
told me how he was down in the South and he was out there, dealing with, he was beating up on some of the brothers and all that stuff. And he said the brothers was the ones that said, man, we gonna call you Sweet Hands, know. So that's my man, Caleb Plant. But that's pretty much what that is, though, man. But you
know what? I just wanted to back up a little bit, and I know we haven't broached that topic yet. But it was remember I said we were going. I was going to throw out the retirements right quick.
Yeah, throw it out there.
Recently, man, this was in the past 2-3 weeks. We had Klitschko, Marquez, Bradley, Uchiyama, Ghost Guerrero, and Takashi Miura, all just retired, man. And I just want to give shouts out to them for those warriors, man, for their illustrious careers. Outstanding job by all of them. And we definitely know Klitsch and Marquez are going into the Hall of Fame.
Oh yeah.
I want to say Bradley, man. Bradley did his thing.
Oh, of course.
Yeah, you know.
Of course
I mean,
he's going into the Hall of Fame. Klitschko and Bradley, easy.
Yeah,
easy.
and Juan Manuel Marquez. I don't know if y'all saw his birthday, his cake or retirement cake or birthday cake. They made it for him.
He retired.
It was retirement cake. They had him in the ring.
With knocking out Pacquiao.
Yeah,
I ain't even
Pacquiao
seen it, but I'm just assuming.
Yeah, that's exactly what it was.
Yeah. That's funny. And once again, he made sure he wasn't going to fight him again, but he did think about fighting Jeff Horn, though. But
before we went on our break, man, that long break, I was saying that it was a fighter I hadn't seen in a while, and I wanted to see him, and that was Omar Figueroa.
Omar Figueroa, who just man, he beat the brakes off of Robert Ghost Guerrero, man. That was, once again, that's my point, though. Oof. When you keep getting hit,
yeah, man,
you won't last long in this sport.
You won't last long, man.
You won't last long in this sport.
And it's hit and not get hit.
And we see how so many of these fighters, usually the fighters who are supposed to have these great chins, those are the fighters who often get knocked out.
And I would tell you this too, man. Figueroa, and I love that guy, man, but he needs to tighten up his defense.
Oh yeah,
because I'm telling you, man, Ghost was catching him clean, man, and a lot of times in that fight until he just turned on his power. When he turned on those uppercuts, man, he was uppercutting that dude like the bus driver in Cincinnati.
Oh yeah,
did that one chick? Yeah. It was like you
almost decapitated him.
Oh my God, man, those were some vicious uppercuts.
Shout out to Coach Sheldon, man. Make sure you go ahead and take care of them decaps in the comment section, since I don't have time to always check. I got to make some more moderators. But shout out to my man, Coach Sheldon. And subscribe to his channel. He has a YouTube channel. Subscribe to Coach Sheldon. All right, y'all? But, yeah, man, that's pretty much what that is, though. But what else? Let me go ahead. What else we got, Milton? We got a couple of... Oh, Rigo versus Lomachenko.
Yeah,
Kirkland.
Man. Yeah,
Kirk. I said Kirkland. Kirk. So now we already know. Now, Lomachenko, before this fight, first, Lomachenko, he said, well, I don't really need Rigo. He needs me. You see that Rigo is calling me out. And then later on, he said in the interview right before the Mariaga fight, he was like, I want him. He's on my hit list, or he's one of the guys I want. And, he said something like that. And then just recently, Kirk, just tell me what he just said recently, Kirk, about and tell me what Rigo has been saying about Kirk after the Mariaga fight, Kirk.
So basically, Lomachenko's been saying even if he were to fight and beat Rigondeaux, he'll get criticized because Rigondeaux's too small for him, basically.
And too old. He beat a smaller, older fighter.
Too small, old. Which let's just say that's true. That's better than fighting a Mariaga who's coming off a loss against Oscar Valdez.
Yeah,
Rigo is considered pound for pound top 5, one of the best fighters in the world. Mm-hmm. Why wouldn't you want to beat a pound for pound champion?
I know, right?
And why are you allowed? And then and also Lomachenko was calling Rigo a keyboard gangbanger, basically. You know, he was like, "Oh, this is how he fights" on Twitter. You remember he put that up on his Instagram. So what are you talking about? Rigo is saying, "I want the fight right now." He's going beyond Twitter,
and this is the thing.
Beyond the social sites.
They lowball him. They lowball him.
Yep.
And then they tried to make it seem as though Rigo didn't want the fight.
We'll take a call in a minute, guys. Go ahead.
I tell you, man, I saw. I've been following Rigo's Twitter. And somebody,
me too.
Yeah. Hey, Kirk, did you see where the guy said, what are you talking about money? For your biggest payday so far was $750,000. And then Rigo says, okay, now you talking, as in, hey, and that was against because I checked it today. That was against Nonito.
Donaire.
That was against Donaire. I think Donaire made like 1.2, 1.3, something like that million, and he made 750,000. And he was like, "Okay, now you talking." And that's been a few years ago. And he's saying that, "Hey, I'll take 750,000," because he was. And then the guy was asking him, "Hey, he's like, wow," and he was like, "Yeah, it was a lot less than that." Yeah, that they were offering him.
Yeah. Well,
and I'm like, "Come on, man."
Yeah. Like you said, that's a true definition of lowballing somebody. Go ahead, AK.
It's bad when Conor McGregor is actually saying that Lomachenko needs to fight Rigondeaux.
Yeah, man.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Boy, I once again I give Conor credit on that one because I know that caught Lomachenko off guard. I know he thinking this casual fan, he don't know what's going on in the boxing world. He probably thinking only person Conor knows is Floyd Mayweather. Boy, I know That was like a punch that Lomachenko did not see. He didn't brace himself for that one.
Hey, the thing is, he did it in offering his services to Conor McGregor, and McGregor was like, "Hey, man,"
and Conor was smart enough to say, "And you a southpaw, so that don't even help me."
Right?
You know, you a southpaw, you 120. So he had a clever response to what Loma had to say.
Hey, let me say this, man. Before the Loma Meisters come jumping through the
no, they ain't gonna call up though. I want a decaf to call up,
listen,
but they never call in though because they
Loma,
don't hear the truth.
I like Loma, and don't get me wrong, the cat is extremely skilled, and I call it like I see it. But the thing is, how is it that they elevate Loma so far up on the pole, and you don't even hear him talking about Rigo, man? And let me tell you, both of them 2-time gold medalists. In the Olympics, both of them illustrious, long amateur careers, man, that were highly impressive.
It's the Pat Boone, Little Richard effect.
Rigo, I think he beat Donaire in like 8 or 9 fights.
Yeah, something like that.
It was low. It was really low.
And he was a smaller fighter.
Smaller guy. I mean,
Donaire was coming off Fighter of the Year. I think he was considered by many.
Yes.
Pound for pound #1 guy.
Yes. And so, I mean, I don't want to try to take nothing away from Loma because the cat came. Hey, you look at Gary Russell and Nick Walsh's resumes, and that single loss on both of their resumes given to them by Loma is glaring, bro.
Yeah.
So I mean, these were tough fighters. So I give Loma his credit, but give Rigo his credit, and y'all need to make this fight happen.
I mean,
they got to find a way to make this fight happen. 2
gold medalists, 2 of the most skillful, slickest fighters,
yes.
I mean, out right now.
Right.
And once again, though, I always say it's skill, recognize skill. I'll be honest with you. When Loma kept moving up in weight, before Rigo was calling him out this aggressively, I thought Loma had the edge because of the size, the youth. I'm like, man, that would be hard for Rigo to move up 2 weight classes.
Right.
He's the older guy, he's shorter. That's going to be hard.
Right.
But then when I seen the way Loma was responding and reacting to Rigo constantly putting pressure on him, I was like, oh, wait a minute. Skill recognize skill right here.
Yeah.
Let's go ahead and take another call real quick. Okay, so we got 303. What's going on, man? What's your name? Where you calling from?
What's going on, fellas? It's Smitty. I'm calling from Denver.
Hey, what's good, Smitty?
What's going on, man? What's on your mind, man?
Hey, welcome back, fellas. Good hearing y'all back on here.
Thank you.
Appreciate it, man. Thanks for the love, man.
Thank you.
I got a few questions related to my man Terrence Crawford this weekend. So the reports recently said that each fighter is paying over $100,000 in sanctioning fees. You think that's why other fighters aren't unifying to become undisputed? And also, I feel like he is going to elevate himself above Andre Ward because on the pound-for-pound list, because I would rather see Andre Ward go get that WBC belt. The way he's acting with this Adonis Stevenson and fighting Tony Bellew, I don't think does as much for his career as would be being undisputed. To me, the belts matter. So I wanted to see what y'all thought about that.
Hey.
I'll let you go ahead, Mel. Hey, you start first.
I'll tell you, man, I kind of agree with you on that one. I really do. And those sanctioning fees are ridiculous, man. I have seen, there are some fighters I have seen walk away from a belt because of sanctioning fees, unfortunately. But yeah, that Tony Bellew fight, I know he wants to go all the way up to heavyweight, and be compared to Roy. But I really don't think that Bellew fight really does a whole lot for him. I don't think it does as much for him as it would him fighting Adonis Stevenson. Well, if he were to take the Stevenson fight, I think that would and unify. I really and truly believe, man, that would do a lot more for his career than him jumping up and fighting Bellew.
Now, when it comes to the sanctioning fees, I'll say this: it really depends on who the opponent is. That's calling out, that champion or whatever. Now, once again, if your number one contender is Rigo, what I mean, and you like, I'm not paying these fees, then that's a little bit different.
It's a little bit different.
But if the number one contender is, Tomato Alabama or something like that, then I can understand. I mean, we have seen fighters, just give up belts, when the guy that was trying to put him in there wasn't, somebody who was relevant or significant, a significant opponent.
Mm-hmm.
So, but as far as pound for pound, once again, man, Terrence Crawford, Andre Ward, they both on that level. But I look at it just like this. When it comes to football, I'm looking at what team has won the most Super Bowls in the last 5 years or the last 10 years. And if you got one team, obviously, that won the Super Bowl, like, I don't know, let's just throw out a number, like 5 out of, 10 seasons,
right?
And then you have another team that only won the Super Bowl like 2, then I'm going to give it to the guy, obviously, who won the Super Bowl more times.
Right.
So when it comes to Andre Ward, he's beat more pound-for-pound fighters that were actually on that list. And that's the list we're talking about right now. So you see what I'm saying?
I understand.
We're talking about the pound-for-pound list. So if you beat more people on that pound-for-pound list, I would have to slightly get that edge to Andre Ward. But once again, I mean, to me, it's kind of like when Floyd was number 1 and Andre Ward was number 2. Now Floyd is gone, and and Andre Ward is number 1, and eventually Terrence keep doing what he's doing. He's going to be number 1 eventually.
But it's like this with me, and of course, a lot of those cats that Bud beat were not on the pound for pound list. Mm-hmm. But you can't deny the skill level and the way he's dispatching fighters, man. But I'll put it like this also. Go ahead, Kirk.
I was going to say, Terrence is incredibly talented, but we can't underestimate the talent that Andre Ward has as well. His skill.
Oh no! Don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. No, but being a unified champion, like you said, it ain't happened since B-Hop. You know what I mean? And you.
But Golovkin is close to being a unified champion, and he's not on that level. You see what I'm saying? So
I get you.
I mean, but once again, Terrence Crawford is. We always give Terrence Crawford credit, but once again, this is like the debate of Floyd Mayweather versus Andre Ward, who's number 1. So it's the same thing. So I mean, it's almost
more like a 1A, 1B.
I was just about to say that. I was just about to say that we on the same page,
right?
But hey, man,
definitely.
Number
2, I got a second question for y'all. Number 2, secondly, with all right, so I know they got a lot of gas behind Vasyl Lomachenko. Do you think this could influence Terrence Crawford possibly leaving Top Rank? And here's my reasoning behind it. Like, there's no reason for them to call Lomachenko the greatest thing since Ali. First of all, he lost to Toledo.
Another conversation.
Second, not on top of that, his numbers aren't even showing that he's pulling that many fans. And next week is going to be sold out in Nebraska for Terrence Crawford. And he's going to pull more than 750,000 views on ESPN. So why are they not promoting him as to being the headliner of their company as opposed to Lomachenko? It's almost disrespectful, and there's really no angle.
Not even almost.
Why they would do that.
It's disrespectful, bro. It's not almost disrespectful. It's disrespectful.
Yeah, I take that back. Yeah. It is disrespectful.
It is, bro.
So
coincidental list. That's the answer to that question. But go ahead.
Do you think it'll influence him to leaving? Is my opinion, because I mean the way that they're talking about Lomachenko, like you guys are saying before I got on here, he's not eager to step in there with. I don't think he's going to fight Mikey, and he's not really interested in getting in there with Rigondeaux. Like when he says certain things, like "I'll get no credit for this," that's just another way of convincing these decals that it's okay to duck.
Right.
So I already know that fight's not happening. He doesn't want those problems. So on the flip side, I feel like Terrence Crawford's taking anything he can get at the table as far as food. So, I mean, if he wants that, he wants more of a legacy, especially giving up these fines. So I think to do that, he's going to have to get out of there and see what he can negotiate with all the guys at 147 on the PBC side.
I mean, I think, honestly, Bob Arum, he's had a change of heart. He's been willing to actually, he said, in my interview, you remember I said, don't you think it'll be beneficial to help the sport grow for you to work with Al Heyman? And he just said no and walked away.
Yeah,
you remember that interview?
I remember that.
All of a sudden, like a year or 2 years later, he's like, oh, man, I mean, me and Al Heyman, we're working together. And, I think we can do some big things together. Because the truth eventually always breaks free, man.
It does, man.
And you're going to have to deal with him if you want to basically, help your own self. You know what I mean? If you want to benefit.
You can be spiteful and sit over there all day long and not put the fights together.
So I don't think Crawford needs to. I mean, it would seem like he would be treated better probably.
I think he would.
Not seen. he would definitely be treated better. You know, if he were to go over there. You know, I mean, you can ask what's your boy? Man, I'm forgetting his name. What's his name? They named his son after Al. He moved up Cruz, Santa Cruz.
Leo Santa Cruz.
Leo Santa Cruz. He named his son after Al. That's how good Al Heyman treats him. You know what I mean?
What?
So once again, Al Heyman is treating all these fighters good. No matter what the race, nationality, he doesn't care. Everyone, they love him. So yeah, so it would be better probably, you know, if he moved over. But I think they'll make those fights. I think Bob would be willing to make a Crawford versus a PBC Al Heyman type fighter.
But I will say this though, there shouldn't be, you know, like the young lady. Oh my God, man, she just called here from New Jersey. Tisha was talking about earlier. How is it that these people know who Lomachenko is, but they don't know who Terrence Crawford is? That's a shame, and that's the promoters. That's the promoters' fault. Yeah. Because you out here talking about this man is, you know, greatest thing since individually wrapped cheese, and you know,
microwave popcorn.
You know, hey man, he the best thing since sliced bread, bro. And you got a Terrence Crawford in your stable. And they know Loma before they know Terrence.
They know Terrence.
They know Terrence.
They just don't respect him because that's not who they want in that position. That's more. Yeah, I know. That's more of who it is. You know, he don't have the complexion for the protection. If we're gonna be straight up about it, damn it.
It's like Milt just went down the lineup of the card next week. It's a lot more fighters to actually tune into with Shakur Stevenson, Dillian White, which talks with fighting Wilder. There's more to catch the eye, and then this Undisputed Unification fight, and they're not promoting it the way that they were promoting Lomachenko.
No, they are not. Yeah. You are absolutely right.
Like the unification is a big deal. You know, that's why some would be like, okay, well, I want to put Terrence Crawford ahead of Andre Ward, pound for pound wise, because he's unifying the entire division. No one's done that, like we talked about earlier.
Right.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
They should be making this First Take. You know, that ESPN has all these channels. They should be on First Take, his and hers, whatever.
Right.
Shows
there
have.
We go. Right.
Yeah. Absolutely. But once again, you know,
appreciate y'all brothers, man.
Hey, we appreciate you.
Thanks for calling in, man. Call in anytime, family.
Have a good one.
All right, man.
Yeah, you too now.
Man, we getting some good calls, Milt.
Definitely get some good calls.
We getting some real good calls, man. But
I'm gonna go in reverse just for a second because we didn't talk. You know, and while we're talking ESPN fights, we're talking, you know, Bob, Big Shot Bob Arum. How about when cherry picking goes wrong? We're gonna talk Jeff Horn.
We gotta have a segment on that almost.
Yeah, man. Jeff Horn versus Manny
Pacquiao.
Yeah,
wow,
man.
You ain't never lied.
Hey, man.
When cherry picking goes wrong.
Hey, man.
Man.
Hey.
Did you read my article?
Hey, what's up?
Did you read my article? That's the title of my article, actually.
No, I did not, man. I'm sorry. I didn't read your article, man. My bad, bro.
We be on the same page,
yes,
man.
we do.
We be on the same page.
I did not, man. My bad.
That's what's up. No, but once again, that was. I mean, we've seen this so many times. You see in movies sometime, you know, a comedy skit where they'll be running from somebody and then they run into a damn tree and get knocked out or something like that. That's what happened with Manny Pacquiao, man. And it's karma, man. I mean, it happened to Abner Mares too. I mean, it happened to Abner Mares when he got knocked out by
I can't remember either.
What's his name? The same dude who Gary Russell knocked out. What's his name, Kirk? AK?
Was it Johnny
Gonzalez?
Yeah.
Johnny Gonzalez.
Yep.
Yeah. It happens a lot, man.
Yeah, it does.
It happens a lot. You know, you sit over here and you try to stay away from this opponent.
But what is going to happen now? And then, you know, Jeff.
And there's no guarantee he'll even
I tell you this, though.
Rematch.
Hey, give Jeff credit. Give Jeff Horn some credit.
Of course.
Hey, he's calling out Errol Spence.
Yeah.
He called out Errol Spence, said, hey, you know, there'll be a man down. He say he wants to fight Errol Spence.
And there are some people who believe that Floyd Mayweather is going to come back and fight Jeff Horn. You know, so I'm just saying.
Man.
There's some people who believe that Floyd Mayweather may fight Jeff Horn.
But what do y'all think they're going to do? Well, I guess Manny is saying that he's going to invoke his rematch clause. So
did he say that recently? Because I remember he was just talking about the family. They don't know and all that. That's a hard fight for Manny, man.
I read an article last week that said that he was going to invoke his rematch clause.
That's a tough fight. That's a tough fight because
You heard that too? It was an AK?
No, that's correct.
Okay.
Read the same thing, but I also read that was the last fight of his current contract. So I think he's gonna have to re-sign another deal,
renegotiate or something like that. Yeah, I mean, but
And it seems like he's falling out of favor with Bob too.
Yeah, I mean, but I don't think Bob is going to force him into like a 3-fight deal or a 6-fight deal close to the end of his career.
Right.
You know, so and once again, if Manny Pacquiao wants to really make that fight happen, he can make it happen.
He can make it happen.
So, but that's a tough fight, and he's not used to fighting naturally big welterweights that can walk through punches.
Yeah.
And that's what Jeff Horn did in that fight.
Exactly. Give it to him, man. That dude is tough.
Yeah,
he's tough, and he stood up. Was that 9th round?
Yeah,
when Manny was coming on really strong.
That was some Rocky.
I think Manny shot
stuff.
his load on that one, and he didn't get him out of there.
And you know, once again, man, to me, because I don't attribute it to age or anything like that.
No.
Manny Pacquiao had this man hurt, just like Errol Spence said. He didn't know how to put the punches together to close the deal.
Yeah.
He kept trying to land the left hand over and over again. He didn't try to set up body shots.
No, he did not.
He had no feints.
No,
he had
didn't.
no straight lefts to the solar plexus. Everything was left hand.
Yep.
And if you go all the way back to Manny Pacquiao, before he even became a big star, he did the exact same thing.
Yep.
Just keep throwing the left hand over and over. Eventually, it's going to land.
Yep.
You know, so I don't attribute that to, you know, he's been doing this since day one, and that's going to be a tough rematch for Manny Pacquiao.
I'll say this, and I think he's trying to make money for his people. And I give him credit for that.
He's trying to make money for his damn self.
Yeah, I know that too. But you know, he's building a lot of homes, and he donated a lot of money to charity over in the Philippines. I will say that.
Oh, of course.
And so I'll say this too. Remember when we were coming up on it, and people were making fun of him for taking the Jeff Horn fight. You know, I don't mind him fighting Jeff Horns, but get the strap up, man. Don't be holding the strap hostage.